Thanks for joining us for Elko Live today here on KELK. We're really pleased to get together on a Tuesday. I know it doesn't feel like it, but we enjoyed a little time off and now we're all paying for it. Getting back in the swing and time for our update in city news and issues. And Jan Baum, our city manager, has brought with her today the executive director of the Elko Convention and Visitors Authority, Annette Kerr. And it's great to have friends when you need them to help fill in, right, Jan?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, hi. It's great to see you, Annette. Thanks for being on the program today. Yeah, so we'll start with a little recap of the City Council meeting.
For sure.
Yeah, and then exciting news to share because there are so many really cool special events coming up and even some brand new ones that people may not have heard of yet. So first of all, I guess the RDA meeting was first, Jan, and a couple of things were really, I guess, newsy there in that the General Improvement District of the Redevelopment Agency, they've got a little extra money in the account. That's kind of a mixed bag.
Yes. So the revenue to date for the RDA is above budget, and it was actually last year as well. And I don't know if it's because of property values in that area or what. We visited with the assessor's office and the treasurer's office at the county, and they're assured that the money is accurate. But yes, I think we budgeted for around $350,000 for the year, and we're up over maybe around $700,000. So that's considerably a lot more than we have had in the past. So hopefully that can be used for the sidewalk project that's coming soon, and for other infrastructure or storefront projects for our business owners.
Yeah, so that was, it is exciting news to see that we can make that infrastructure investment because it's going to make a huge difference in the downtown, Jan. And I know Kathy Laughlin, our city planner, she mentioned that she thought it was a result of, she's probably saying this because she was informed, she's not guessing, but maybe as a result of the carve out with the end of pay-as-you-go.
It very well could be because the timing goes well with the pay-as-you-go carve out, so that could be a portion of it.
All right. So just for the benefit of listeners, some people thought that they're not paying those taxes now that don't go to schools capital fund. You're still paying the taxes. They're just squished out now. They're going to different places.
Yes, there were several entities that acquired some of that like you said, the carve out or that tax rate, and the county receives a large sum of it. The city receives a little bit of it, and I believe that Wells and Carlin also received a small portion of that.
And then we found out, but we'll talk to Demo about that tomorrow. The TV district also they clawed back a bunch of money, even though former TV district board members got on the board specifically to reduce that tax increment, but these guys decided to get it back. So
right. So you're right. The TV district actually did receive some of that as well, and that'll be good for Delmo to talk about because I don't know all the details behind that.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to worry about that. You've got enough of your own budget. And Jan Baum is our former financial services director, so you know an awful lot about the money, where it comes and goes, and so obviously this raised some concerns for you because we need to be accountable for the money and invest it wisely.
Absolutely. Yes, and we were last year. We visited about the amount of money that was coming in from the RDA and above budget, and visited with the county. And Kathy and I visited, and so anyway, it seems to be a trend going forward, and so which is a positive thing for the RDA and our business owners down there. So, yeah. Positive.
We'll see where it goes. Mm-hmm. And then up on unless there was anything else on RDA, but that probably stood out the most, Jan, I think.
Yes, I believe so. And they gave out a couple infrastructure grants as well, which is great. And the infrastructure grants are set up for companies or business owners who are having to make their businesses ADA compliant or something like that, and that can take quite a bit of money for a small business owner. And so the RDA is here with infrastructure grants to help those business owners, and so that's a great program that we started. I believe this was the second grant cycle.
Yeah, and that is an important investment. It's matched money, so it's not just an outright gift. There has to be a commitment and plans in place, and the work has to be completed before the money is issued. But it really takes these older buildings that some of them have been sitting vacant and breathes new life, and that helps to support the local economy.
Absolutely. We like to see those businesses that are either closed or haven't been in service for a while and have them updated and with a thriving business.
So again, I'll say that it's nice to have Kathy Laughlin at the helm because she and her staff are working so hard, and she knows firsthand how to get these buildings into shape and how to work with local developers. She understands what some of their limitations might be too.
Absolutely. She does a really nice job at the RDA, and that whole group over there with Scott Wilkinson and Kathy, and then also our new development manager, Ralph Negron. They do a great job over there. And so, kudos out to them.
It shows, and we'll be seeing more of it in downtown Elko. I'm so excited to see that huge sidewalk project. So we'll talk more about that as spring starts to advance. Then the regular council meeting opened at 4. Unfortunately, there are a lot of unhappy people with not the city per se, but with a company installing broadband. Right, Jan?
Yes, there were quite a few concerns, and we didn't know all of them were coming. And so that was interesting timing and actually good timing. And it's good when the public has input, and whether it, be at a meeting or on different committees or whatever, but it's really good for there to be public input on what's going on. And so we had quite a few residents that came down and gave their opinion on some broadband infrastructure that's been building out throughout the city, and this is going out through the entire city. I understand every address throughout the city will have this, which is an amazing benefit. Having fiber at your house is just, it's a necessity. And so we will have an item on the February 27th agenda, and we'll have the vendor come to the meeting and answer some questions. And so if there's additional input, the public is definitely welcome to come. And the concerns that have already brought to our attention, we've been talking to Anthem Broadband about these items. And one of the things that I want to make clear is that the contract or the franchise agreement with the City of Elko is with Anthem Broadband. It is not with any of the subcontractors that they use. So we need to make sure that we're communicating with Anthem Broadband because that's who has the franchise agreement. And there are items in the franchise agreement that help protect public property and private property within the easement, and so we'll make sure and address some of those items in the meeting on the 27th. I believe there were some concerns about infrastructure and personal property getting hurt or during some of the Anthem build out, and then also some concerns about the generators around town being some safety concerns there. So both of those items we're hoping to address at the meeting.
All right, perfect. That'll be on the February 27th. So the next week's regular meeting of the City Council addressing those Anthem complaints. If you or someone you know wants to kind of add to the list or at least listen in, you can do it in person or online. So
absolutely, yes. We have our meetings online at GoToMeeting, and the link is always on our website on the agenda, and then we also have, of course, in person.
All right. Well, just in the interest of time, we'll kind of pick and choose. I know that there were other issues on the City Council agenda. I want to make sure we're getting to everything that jumps out for you, Jan, to make sure the public's aware. But you do have some advisory board vacancies, and that's an opportunity for the community to participate.
Absolutely. And, we really value our public input. And so we do have a couple advisory board vacancies currently. One is on the Parks and Recreation Committee, and the other one is on the Golf Course Advisory Committee. And both of those committees are fairly active, and so we'd like to see those vacancies filled. And if you have any questions or you have interest in that, you're more than welcome to call the clerk's office, and their phone number is 775-777-7126, or you can email the city clerk at cityclerk@elkocitynv.gov. And then those vacancies are also listed on our website at elkocity.com. And it's just a great way to give public input, and we definitely value that.
And if you're interested in particular in the City of Elko golf course, that is a municipal course. Junior golf is a really important program to the community, and they do need advisors in that area in particular. But they have a golf course advisory board meeting this coming Friday at 9 a.m. You can also watch online if it's not convenient to leave your workplace or to be there in person, but that's a good opportunity to find out more about what those advisory board members do. I think there is an agenda item, Jen, I was looking at. They are going to be looking at maybe opening up the eligibility of people looking to fill vacancies, because right now I think you may amend the current bylaws to expand the residency requirement.
Yes, there's some discussion around that. So recently, I want to say probably this last spring, the Golf Course Advisory Committee approved bylaws, or a change to their bylaws that only approved City of Elko residents to their advisory board. And there's just been a very little interest in being on the Golf Course Advisory Board, and we do have an applicant who does not live within the city limits, but has a lot of input within the city limits. And so actually the Golf Course Advisory Board will have a meeting on the 23rd of February, so Friday, and to discuss this change in their bylaws and either approve it or not approve it. And then those bylaws will be brought to the City Council on the 27th.
All right. Sounds good. Again, timely, and for anybody interested, some changes may be happening. And speaking of changes, a long time tenure for Catherine Wines, and she has resigned from Elko Arts and Cultural Advisory Board. That does create an opportunity, however, for someone else. This has been a really important board. She led that board for more than 15 years, and she has her stamp on much of the significant artwork, from murals to the boots to a lot of the sculpture that was created throughout the community. Really opened the door for arts as being an integral part of our community and our experience. And so it may be difficult to fill her shoes, but there's an opportunity.
Absolutely. And I should have mentioned that I'm sorry that is not posted on our website yet, but it will be posted. We talked about that in the directors meeting. So there will be a opening on that committee as well, or the board. And so, yeah, if there's anybody in the community that is interested in the Arts and Culture Board, there'll be an opening on that as well. That just hasn't been posted to our website yet.
Oh, Jan, and it just happened. So I believe her letter was dated the 5th. So yep, you've got time. So it's a lot of things to pull together in a busy city like we have. So
absolutely, yes. Actually, the council accepted her resignation on the last meeting, and so. But there were some kind words said about Catherine. She has done an amazing job. She really has a passion for arts and culture, and she's going to have some hard shoes to fill.
All right, Jan. Is there anything else on your list before we switch gears?
Well, I always like to quickly mention our job openings, and if you want to join the City of Elko team, and we'd be happy to have you submit your applications on elkocity.com. And we have an airport operations opening, a civil engineer opening, a part-time evidence technician, patrol officers, and police records technician. So we have quite a few openings at the police department, and we have an amazing police department, and they're just very professional and high standards over there. So anyway, if there's interest, we'd be happy to have anybody apply. Thank you.
Thank you, Jan. Jan Baum is our Elko City Manager, and we appreciate her coming in and giving us an update. In between meetings, the council will meet next in regular session on Tuesday the 27th. And again, as we mentioned at the top, so pleased that Jan brought a fellow professional, her colleague from the Elko Convention and Visitors Authority. Annette, it's always great to see your smiling face, and thank you so much for everything that you do.
Sure. Thank you for inviting me, and I appreciate Jan giving me a call, so it gives us an opportunity to share a little bit.
Absolutely. I am not hearing your, I'm going to turn this microphone. Maybe this is Maybe I just need to turn maybe we'll give her that microphone. How about that? Because I don't think that microphone is working. There we go. How's that? Are you comfortable?
Oh, I'm just fine.
Perfect.
Thank
that sounds
you.
much better. Thanks, Annette. So Annette is the Executive Director, Elko Convention and Visitors Authority, and I was so excited after coming back from the recent now you have a combined marketing and lodging committee, and they made some fantastic recommendations. We have a lot coming up.
We do have a lot coming up, and I'd like to talk about the committee for just a moment. It used to be the marketing committee, and then we had a separate lodging committee. And there was over 20 people on the marketing committee and a very few on the lodging committee. So we felt that as a result of what we do for marketing, it puts heads in beds. And so we thought it would be natural to bring in the lodging committee and combine them with the marketing committee. So we put out applications for people to apply, and we came up with a 7-member committee, which does involve people from the local businesses, the hotels, the gaming areas, the museum areas. So it was a good cross mix of getting the input. So it's all by the community. That committee makes those decisions based on people requesting funding for events. So there was quite a few events that were put in for this one, but we have so much going on, so I'm not sure if you want to talk about that committee and what they decided and what their recommendation will be to the board, or
we can loop them back in, because I know that these recommendations will go to the Board of Governors meeting, which is it next
on Tuesday the 27th as well.
Okay, very good.
In the morning though, so we don't conflict.
Yes, busy day for the staff there. But yeah, please dive in with your top 10 list or more, I'm sure. Yeah.
Well, we have been busy booking. I believe we're actually surpassing the 2019 pre-COVID bookings. We're very close. So some months are not quite there yet, and others are surpassing. As you know, I'll just finish up a little bit with Cowboy Poetry. We had 5,000 people more that came to the convention center. We can track that. We have the Placer AI tracking. So now that's helping us also to look at our marketing areas, what people are visiting Elko. Are they coming from the outside? How many are coming from within our own community? So that helps us make some decisions from a financial standpoint as well. So we had the Cowboy Poetry, as I said. We just finished up with the Mines, working with them with the ARTs, which is annual refresher training. We just had the Elko Snow Show on February 10th and the Bighorn Crab Feed also on February 10th. But moving forward now, we have the NGM is having a career fair on the 25th, I believe it is. Let me just double check here. Or the 22nd, I'm sorry. So the 22nd, there's a Rotary dinner that we're now advertising for as well to help them out. It's their annual dinner that they have for fundraising. It will actually be at the Senior Center, but we have the new electronic reader board out there that helps. And anyone who would like to put their event or their information on the reader board, it's free of charge, and they can put that up there to help out with the community, just to get another way to get information out. So that's March 16th. But we have the Elk Foundation dinner coming up. They still have Ruby Mountain Elk Banquet coming up on March 23rd. They still have tickets available. They can just look at their website. We have the Ruby Mountain Bridal Fair, which will be Saturday the 24th. As I said, new hire training. We have the Nevada Republican Party is having their convention on the 2nd of March. We have the health fair on March 9th. We'd like everybody to come out and visit on the health fair and see what's going on. On the 11th through the 14th of March is the Elko County School District STEM Fair. So we do encourage people to come out, locals to come out and see what our children are learning and inventing. And it's amazing. Some of these things that are coming out from students, not just the high school students, but we're looking at the elementary students. They are just phenomenal with their ideas and thought processes. And it's just encouraging to see our youth is still out there working hard. NGM is having their safety summit on the 20th and 21st. We're having a sportsman expo going on. NDOW is putting on that on March 3rd. We have Elko County FEMA Emergency Basic Academy happening several weeks. We have a gun show on March 9th and 10th. And so what I'd like to just also let people know is our PopCon is coming up. And on March 3rd, we're actually releasing for opening for vendors to come and buy booth space. I was so excited last year. It was our first time on that event. It's new for Elko. It's a whole new event. I just see it growing. 4,000 people attended our very first PopCon last year, so we're just hoping to expand it. We've already got from one building, we're going to add both buildings now. So we have people from all over the area come in, and a person that won the overall prize was $1,500 was from Park City, Utah, that won it. And so it's just a fun, unique thing. If you like to see some of these characters we're going to expand that in to have small children categories for their costumes and their prizes, and so they get to kind of see that whole wonder world. And I didn't realize how many people in Elko love that kind of pop culture information. So that's coming out. It's just really exciting for that to have that. So we have the Women in Mining Expo back. Since, well, it's been several years, I think about 6 years since the Women in Mining Conference is going to be here, and that's in April 9th through the 13th. And then we've reached out and we've got the university, USU, Utah State University is going to do an educational conference for some of our teachers and parents, homeschoolers and stuff like that will be there, and that's also in April. So it's just one booking after another right now that's coming out. So we're really excited that we're moving forward. And of course, we're already getting ready for a mining expo. We've opened it up for our legacy. That's pretty much almost sold out as far as our legacy return. That's for our return vendors coming in. The golf tournament will be on June 3rd and 4th, and then of course Mining Expo is the 6th and 7th. So that's already booking up. So we're just moving forward.
And Billy Crapo was just on talking about the Home Show Business Expo, which is
that's
Mother's
in
Day
May.
weekend.
Yeah.
Yep,
so that was just in March. So
we've skipped ahead a little bit, but that just and all of these events and activities, if they're not on your paper calendar, they're usually calendared online, right?
That is correct.
Okay.
On our website, you can go to events and look at the calendar. That's also a free posting, so even if you're not hosting your event at the convention center and want to have somebody to look at it, because we get visitors daily, we get a lot of hits on that. You can go to our exploreelko.com and put your own event onto the calendar. So you don't have to call us, you can do it yourself.
Oh, very nice. Annette Kerr is Executive Director of Elko Convention and Visitors Authority. ExploreElko.com is the website. And again, a lot of traffic there between that one and the Chambers, ElkoNevada.com. Again, so many events, Annette, and what a great recovery. We don't want to get too excited too soon.
Right.
But yeah, but you do have a very anxious lodging community. They have done their best to get through this pandemic, right?
That's true, and we really want them to work with us. They're investors with us, if you will, because it's a full circle. If we can generate people to come in and stay at our hotels, that generates the room tax dollar, and then that's how we are funded back through the room tax dollars. So it's a good circle to have, and as long as you have those partnerships available and bringing in people, not that we don't want to support our community, we definitely are there to help get back with our community as well. But it's the room tax dollars that help support the ECVA.
Oh, certainly. And whether it's, as you mentioned, a sportsman's expo, that brings in people from around the region.
It does.
Driving from, Winnemucca or Ely. Certainly folks do come from Twin Falls here because this is where you can actually get out on public lands, get a side-by-side and go scope, we have moose hunting now, they just opened that up.
Exactly.
And it all generates all this money in the economy, from gas taxes to groceries.
It's not just room tax, but that's how we're funded. But sales tax, it goes into, somebody might stop to shop, somebody might stop at a restaurant to eat, they might purchase gas, they may stop, oh, hey, we haven't seen the museum, let's stop there before, it just brings people to the community. Yep,
great partners and collaborators. And I know that just what we were talking about with Jan Baum, who also, her background is in finances, we're fortunate, Annette, and that your background is also in finances and budgeting, and you have been so calm and so professional in taking this position right from the pandemic, where things looked so rough, and we do know that there's a balloon payment due on the conference center.
That is true.
But thank you, Jan. Get to your meeting. Okay, but you have been able to get us to this point again, and showing the community just how valuable this convention center is, and we need to invest in this.
Well, just remember, this was built in 1975 as our community event center, if you will. The term Convention and Visitors Authority was taken on several years later, but it was considered the Civic Center. And so we want to get back to that as well, that we're here for our local community. And so that's why I created the NOFO program, which NOFO stands for Notice of Funding Opportunities. And so some of those funds coming in, and that kind of a segue into what we did just last Wednesday, is to let the community know that those tax dollars that our community puts forth can be brought back to community events. And not just our community events, but a lot of events that are out there. So the NOFO process is a 2-time grant-funded opportunity, so people can submit an application saying, hey, we would like to see, $5,000 to help us market something, whatever their event be, the balloon festival, the car show, whatever. And so they can put that in, and then that committee we spoke about at the beginning of the show makes those determinations based on how many applications we have in, how much money we have available. And so each NOFO cycle is about $30,000, and if it's not spent or the community didn't spend it, and they'll give, it's a refundable, they have to spend it and then they get refunded back, is how that program works. So there's some accountability, but then that money goes back into the pot, so it doesn't come back to the ECVA, it goes back into being able to put back into the community.
It's really healthy, and it just shows that the strength of bringing in people from the outside to attend all these special events. I can just look over, everything from the Bass Club to the Ruby Mountain Race Series to the Boys and Girls Club's new Silver State Stampede Country Kickoff Concert. That's a brand new event.
And that's expanding that event. That event's 112 years old, and it's a great event for our community. So by adding that concert, that just gives us another day that the people hopefully will either stay another day and see what's going on, or also just enjoy it.
Yeah, that translates into, $300 or $400 per person when you think about it. And then that really adds up. One day can make a huge difference for the local economy. We talk about that a lot with Cowboy Poetry. The Haunted Commercial asked for some money, Elko County Fair and Ag District. The Board of Governors will be asked to support the Rides and Rods Elko Classic Car Show. The Farrell Production Barrel Racing for the Farrell Finals. That was kind of a fun presentation. She has a ton of support and people that do come from around the region. They're starving for these barrel racing competitions.
Exactly. I know that this is held out at the Horse Palace. And again, we're a regional. We're not just city. We are regional. As an authority, we are founded by NRS, and so we have to take a look at our region. Obviously, Spring Creek's in our region. So any of these events that are in the area, and even if they're not in our region, if it's an incorporated city like Carlin or Wells, we still try to help out. As we did with the Festival of Trees, we were able to give some money to the Senior Center in Wells, raised about a little over $8,000 for them.
That makes a huge difference for a small senior center. Benavides Bucking Bulls is putting on the 2024 Gold Rush. It's super popular. Ruby Mountain Hot Air Inc. for the Balloon Festival, which is also coming back, Annette. So again, widespread support. These are special events and activities. And what really dawned on me is for a community of our size, we're fortunate to have this many events, this many passionate volunteers. Our resources are limited, though.
And that is true. It's amazing. As I said, this is twice a year, so we do it one for any event from July 1 through the end of December, and then January through end of June. And so all of these people, it's kind of the same faces you see a lot of times, but it's amazing how much our community steps up so that there's things to do.
Right. And hopefully all the various entities that benefit from this, whether it be the city, the county, the rec board, because as you said, your funding is constant. You can't go out and apply for grants. We have Tom Lester, who does a lot of great work at the state level, right?
He sits on the Nevada Commission on Tourism, but they cut back their grant cycles too to one a year. So it's a little difficult, but he has to abstain. If we apply, he has to abstain. So we're relying on everyone to see that what we're bringing to Northeastern Nevada. Well,
you've certainly worked hard, and your staff is also small. I saw them everywhere during Cowboy Poetry. Annette?
We only have 11 people. 5 of them are in the office, so 6 are out there on the floor. They are phenomenal. I was just telling them this morning, I did have to go out of town for a brief period and came back, and it's just how lucky I am to be at this facility and working with the people that I have. They bend over backwards to make sure that your event is a success and that there are no problems.
Right, clean, well-maintained. Again, 11 people for the facilities of the Elko Conference Center and the Elko Convention and Visitors Authority. I don't know if you know how many thousands of square feet that is, but that's a lot.
It is huge. By adding the conference center, as you talked about, we have that balloon payment coming up in March of 2026. We're doing everything we can to meet that balloon payment. It's going to be tough. I'm not going to shroud that. I think we'll have about 50% of that. It's about $6.2 million. So we're doing everything we can to help save money that we can. Also look at different opportunities to increase and bring that debt service under control.
All right. And again, you have been calm and quiet, professional demeanor. You haven't been demanding anything of any entities. And so I think it's important as a community, Annette, that we stand up for our convention center and conference center and remind our elected officials, when they have tapped into resources. We talked about pay-as-you-go shifting at the beginning of the meeting. The tax has not gone away. You're still paying those taxes, listeners, but they've gone to different sources now. And it's important to remember that we need to support facilities like this.
That's true. We did try to get some of that funding, but as a result of our location within the city limits, the state indicated that no, we could not. That would put us over the cap because our sales tax, we do get some sales tax dollars, but it has been set for the last 20 years at $318,000 or $16,000. Even though the sales tax has gone up and revenues have gone up, we're capped at that amount. We cannot receive any more money than that. So our hands are tied in a few ways, but we're making ends meet, and I'm very happy that we're saving some money. We've looked at some new investments and made some changes on our investment strategies and have turned that around.
Great, Annette. Thank you so much. What a professional we have at the helm. It's great to visit with you. I want to make sure we got to all of your topics that you brought today.
We did. This is, again, those areas. We did about $39,000 worth of approvals. This will be recommended to the Board of Governors, which will be on Tuesday at 8:30, and then they will make the final decision. Just one thing that I'd like to clarify, if we have time, Lori, is that this is for marketing dollars. We are a restricted account. The city ordinance indicates that these dollars can only be used for marketing outside the area, which means that I set it at a 50-mile. My predecessors had it at a 100 and a 200-mile radius. I brought it into 50, but our local areas, our local radio stations and things like that, they reach out beyond just the city of Elko. It goes out and about in Winnemucca and in different areas. So anyone who wanted to advertise in those areas, we utilize this money is able to do so. Additionally, if they want sponsorship, now that's different. That comes out of our general fund. That will be in front of the board. We have 5 requests coming in front of the board on the 27th as well. All
right. And again, pretty limited resources, but anybody in this community, if you're hosting a small event, you're on a board for a small event, you know how difficult it is to put these events together. Come to the radio station. I know we give I'm the news person, so I'm not the salesperson, but I believe we double your budget if you're a nonprofit, for example. Mm-hmm. So we help promote, and we also have, we network with media outside the area. Again, we live here and we want these events to be successful, and we're proud of them.
Yeah. Exactly. Even any of the smaller events, whether they be in the park or in a small location somewhere around town or even in the county, just let us know, and we'll put it up on our marquee. You'll put it on your station. We even have a tier for people, different tiers. So there's the regular rate, a discounted rate for nonprofits, and a rate for government entities. So we're out there to help. We're not here to try to take advantage. Our rates are pretty low compared to some of the other areas around, and so just check us out.
Yep, check it out, and check out your collaborators with the Elko Area Chamber. We love to help promote the Elko Daily Free Press. Lydia Snow's just done an excellent job as the newest reporter they've hired, joining the team with Tony Milano and others who are working so hard to stretch, your advertising and your reach, and, people they don't remember that the newspaper is now digital, so it can reach even farther than it did before. Yeah,
exactly. So again, I'm not sure how much time we have left, Lori, but we are going to do stay tuned for a new rebranding. I think you've seen the first sign. It says the E-Center. That stands for a lot of different things. It's Explore Elko, the Event Center, the Elko Center, whatever you want that E to mean, the Exciting Center, but it's going to be part of our new branding that we're reaching out. And we have a new visitor's guide coming out. It's not the standard 8.5 by 11. It's a whole new size, a whole new different material that's going in there. Some of the older ones, but new photos. And we've invested in a lot of new AI as well as a lot of new social media platforms. So we're getting that word out.
Yep, and like you said, tracking, that's so important. So, Annette, thank you again for your time. I'll let you get back to your budgeting.
That's fine. It's just that time of year, and as a government entity, we do have to comply.
Yes, well, we appreciate it. Thank you, listeners, for joining us for Elko Live today. Annette Kerr, Executive Director of Elko Convention and Visitors Authority, and the E-Setter, our guest here on Elko Live today.